Restoring the Father's name Yahweh. Restoring the Messiah's name Yahshua. Re-establishing Torah covenant. Preparing the bride. The revealing of the sons of Elohim. Prophecy. The return of Melchizedek, the royal priesthood. Elijah's school of the prophets. The Way Ministries. A return to the Philadelphian spirit.
Revelation 13. Then I stood on the sand, which is a beach of the sea that is salted, and I saw a beast, dangerous and venomous, rising up out of the sea that is salted, having 7 heads that has taken hold of power, and 10 horns as the hair on the head in a figurative sense, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous evil speaking that is slanderous against Yahweh and men, a name. Now the beast, dangerous and venomous, which I saw, like or similar in appearance to a leopard, his feet were like the feet of a bear that obstructs with ferocity, raising a barrier, and his mouth, which is the front edge of a weapon, like the mouth of a lion. The dragon, which is an extraordinary and fascinating sight, gave him his power, that is miraculous, his throne, a stately seat of power, and great fearful authority, privilege of superhuman delegated influence. And I saw one as the first of his heads that seized and took hold of power, as if it had been mortally wounded, as maimed violently, and his deadly wound inflicted through calamity was healed. And all the world marveled with a strange admiration, and followed the beast that is dangerous and venomous. So they worshipped to prostrate in homage to the dragon, which is an extraordinary and fascinating sight, who gave authority, privilege of superhuman delegated influence, to the beast, dangerous and venomous, and they worship like a dog that kisses his master's hand, the beast, out for destruction, saying, Who is like the beast, who is able to make war with him? And he was given with power a mouth, which is the front edge of a weapon, speaking great things that is fearful, and blasphemies of evil speaking against Yahweh and men. And he was given authority and privilege of superhuman delegated influence to continue without delay for 42 months. Then he opened his mouth, which is the front edge of a weapon, in blasphemy, that is evil speaking against Yahweh, who is the supreme divinity, to blaspheme, to vilify, defame, and revile his name that has authority and character. His tabernacle, that is the habitation of a wife who contributes to the usefulness of her husband, and those who dwell in a mansion that is a symbol of protection and communion in heaven. It was granted to him to make war for a single or series of encounters with the saints that are morally blameless and ceremonially consecrated, and to overcome, prevail to the point of victory over them. An authority with privilege of superhuman delegated influence was given him over every tribe, offshoot of race or clan, tongue that is naturally acquired language, and nations that are non-Jewish. All who dwell on the earth will worship to prostrate in homage to him, whose names have not been written engraved with description in the book that is a scroll of life of the Lamb, that is a lambkin male, slain as a butchered animal, sacrificed, slaughtered violently from the foundation or conception of the world. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who leads into captivity as a prisoner of war shall go into captivity as leading himself and sink out of sight. He who kills with the sword by way of a war because of a quarrelsome dispute must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience with cheerful endurance and the faith by reliance on Yahshua of the saints that are morally blameless and ceremonially consecrated. Then I saw another of various traits beast, dangerous and venomous, coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns, as the hairs on the head in a figurative sense, like a lamb, that is a lambkin male, and spoke as in preaching like a dragon, which is an extraordinary and fascinating sight. And he exercises all the authority and privilege of superhuman delegated influence of the first in his presence, and causes without delay the earth and those who dwell in it to worship and prostrate in homage, and the first in order importance beast, whose deadly wound of calamity was healed with relief from being diseased. He who performs great fearful signs of a supernatural event, so that he even makes fire, that is lightning, come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives by roaming away from the safety of truth of Torah those who dwell on the earth by those signs of power which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast that is a dangerous and venomous, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image into a statue that is a faint copy and resemblance of the beast, who was wounded through calamity by the sword of judicial punishment and lived. He was granted power to give breath with a mental disposition to the image made into a statue that is a faint copy and resemblance of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak as in preaching, and cause without delay as many as would not worship to prostrate in homage to the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich with money and possessions, and poor as a beggar, as fallen into that state, free, who are exempt from obligation to go at pleasure, and slave, to receive a mark that is an etching or stamp as a badge of servitude or figurine on their right hand in superimposition of it on their foreheads, and that no one may even as a possibility buy or go to market or sell or even barter except one who has the mark, that is an etching or stamp as a badge of servitude or figurine, or the name that has authority and character of the beast, dangerous and venomous, or the number that is counted up and equals that of his name that has authority and character. Here in this spot or place is wisdom of the highest spiritual order. Let him who has understanding with intellect from a divine source calculate, as in using pebbles to compute, the number that is counted up and equals that of the beast, for it is the number of a man, his number is 666.